According to the government, more than 30,000 migrants have crossed the channel just this year. Of these 30,000 migrants, over 90% are male from Middle Eastern Muslim countries. The government claimed to be halting these crossings and intercepting them at sea in order to stop these happening. However, evidence shows quite the opposite. Migrants being helped on land by the Coastal Guard. On average, the migrant system currently costs the taxpayers over £350 million per year. At least this is the amount given by the government. At Dover, the government wants you to believe they are fighting the incoming invasion and keeping our borders safe. The truth is the government is welcoming these migrants with open arms. Dover has a base for migrants where they hold catering and clean warm clothing. As soon as a boat is spotted, they intercept it at the landing point and guided towards this base to be fed, clothed and housing assigned, all at the cost of the taxpayers. The images provided by the mainstream media and the government of migrant detention centers at Dover are from the real thing. To see firsthand the conditions of these temporary centers, watch the video below. Credit Active Patriot. These migrants usually spend less than 48 hours in these camps being fed and clothed, before they are taken and housed at a hotel or housing facility, the true cost of which will unlikely ever truthfully be calculated. These hotels are often taken over completely and fully booked by the immigration office in order to house these migrants until they can give them permanent housing at the cost of the British populace, with many small villages, towns, and seasides being completely overrun to the point the ethnicity variable tips away from the British populace. Many of these migrants go on to create offenses, and often these offenses are targeted towards children in sexual offense. Current cases of rape and child grooming have risen, with grooming gangs having an 84% Asian influence. The immigration office often disregards these risks and continues to allow these migrants in without proper criminal checks. In a growing rate, migrants have been attending schools as pupils, putting themselves across as 15-year-old children whilst being middle-aged men. The government and immigration office ignore this for fear of being called racists, and any British man or woman who documents these events is often charged with racial offences or else a breach of the peace to scare them away. Reports of widespread violence towards citizens by migrants are already widespread in Ireland. The violence appears to be erupting in Britain also, with only small portions being covered by the mainstream media, while none of the migrants or else illegal immigrants are prosecuted, arrested, or otherwise charged. In the seaside town of Skegness, reports of migrants taking pictures of children at a park were met by deaf ears as they were simply returned to their hotels by the police without charge. Alongside this, reports have come through of migrants who commit offences against children being allowed to sign a document stating it was a cultural misunderstanding, thus putting children at further risk. With no sign of persecution on the horizon, how will the British populace fare against the invasion of illegal migrants who prey on children, and sap the system of funds that could otherwise house veterans or homeless British citizens? More on this story as we gather information. Follow our Twitter for updates as they come by clicking this.